Welcome back, and let's stick to the big story of today, and that is on Vodafone Idea. Though on the first take, you will see that the Supreme Court has actually quashed the demand for Vodafone Idea. There has been no relief from Supreme Court. But on the flip side, it's Supreme Court itself that they're saying that the centre can decide on its future by extending any support. That's indeed the most positive commentary coming in on Vodafone Idea, and hence the likely reaction on the stock price as well. Almost a 9% jump coming in on Vodafone Idea, a good reaction on Indus Towers as well. So the telecom space, one of the players of the telecom space, that is Vodafone Idea. So that is indeed a big news flow that we are tracking on this particular counter, wherein the Supreme Court says that the centre can decide on its future by extending any support. On the face of it, they have quashed the petition that was filed by Vodafone Idea. But we have our experts with us, so let's try to decode what does it really mean for Vodafone Idea going ahead, and what's the likelihood that the centre will can really lend some support to the company. We are being joined by Sanjay Asher as well as Sanjay Hegde, Senior Advocate of Supreme Court, joining us on the show. Very good morning, gentlemen. And Mr. Hegde, let me first come to you. On the face of it, the Supreme Court has quashed the petition. But they're saying, and they're keeping it open for the centre, that they can once again reconsider the order that they have given. What are your thoughts on that, and what's the likelihood that the centre's outcome could be favourable?
Well, what the Supreme Court has done is it has disposed of the petition. It is a petition on the basis of the statement made by the Solicitor General that, taking into consideration the change in circumstances, that the Government of India has acquired 49% equity and that there are nearly 20 crore customers utilizing the services, the Government of India has stated that it is willing to examine the issues raised by the petitioner. The Supreme Court has only clarified that its earlier judgment does not stand in the way of the centre taking any policy decision that it wants. So essentially, this is a case where, though the petition has technically been disposed of, it is open to the centre, which is now a major investor in the company, to take its own decisions afresh. So it might waive off the AGR or constitute some other package so that there is relief to the company. And all in all, it's a big win as far as those who are invested in Vodafone is concerned.
All right, Mr. Asher, let's just understand this also, because now the ball is definitely in the government's court. But then what kind of shape you think this will be taking going ahead with the Supreme Court saying that the government is free to decide the AGR dues as well? So how do you think these proceedings will be taken ahead?
There would be a policy decision in relation to the AGR dues, keeping in mind that there are 20 crore plus customers using Vodafone Idea mobile services. And having regard to the facts and circumstances, the government would form a policy as to what has to be done as far as the AGR dues are concerned. And as the government is ready and willing to consider some relief, so to my mind, yes, there would be a policy decision which would be taken by the Department of Telecommunications. Two, there would be some element of relief, I would think, which would be given for the AGR. Three, it would not only apply to Vodafone Idea, but it would apply to all the telecom operators, since it would be a policy and it can't apply only to one particular operator. And four, let's see as to what the policy decision is. And in my view, depending on what the policy decision is, and keeping in mind the facts and circumstances and the interest of 20 crore plus customers, maybe there could be another round of litigation basis, whatever is the decision of the government on the policy.
Interesting points over there, but yes, the government has definitely made it clear time and again that they don't want the duopoly, and that's why they have gone ahead and invested in such a substantial manner in Vodafone Idea. And in order to protect those customers, a step could be taken on that front. But Mr. Hegre, coming to you, if you can help us understand how this whole process will be taken in the times ahead. Any timeline that comes to your mind that will be there in terms of the resolution, and along with that, this AGR due and the petition that has been disposed today related to an amount of close to 9,500 crores. But for Vodafone Idea, if we look at the total AGR dues, that's over 80,000 crores. Do you believe that since the government is a majority shareholder over there, there could be some relief on over and above the amount of 9,500 crores?
Well, whatever are the dues, the question is, how does the government recover them, or does it want to recover them? Because in a sense, when it is a major investor, 49% investor in the company, it is actually taking it out from the pocket of the company and putting it into the pocket of the government. But it's from one pocket, almost one pocket that it half owns, to another pocket that is fully owned. But you cannot bring down the company, or it would not be in anybody's interest to bring down the company. So what concessions to give and what relief to give will be a matter of policy. The policy may not be specific to this company alone. It may be in general terms. You know, my mind goes back to the Arun Shuri years in the telecom industry, in the telecom ministry, which revolutionized the telecom industry. In those days, there were heavy license fees which were due and payable. He moved it to a revenue sharing method, as a consequence of which the sector as a whole came up. So similarly, here there are some legacy issues with regard to AGR. If there are improvements or tweaks in the policy, which would possibly benefit not only Vodafone but the others, I don't think anybody should have an objection. As far as the timeline is concerned, that is anybody's guess, because after all, the entire process would have to be gone through, and if there is a policy change, maybe the TRAI's recommendations would also have to be sought. Given the commercials of the matter, I expect further litigation.
All right. So this is very important statement, you know. In fact, when you talk about policy tweaks, Mr. Hegre, could you please elaborate on that for the benefit of the investors, the shareholders, and also how do you think this message is expected to relay for other telecom operators as well?
Well, everybody had AGR dues. Now, if the AGR dues cannot be pared down only for one company just because the government happens to be a major shareholder, it may well have to be tweaked. Maybe some companies will have a lesser easing of the burden. Some may have a greater easing of the burden. But that the details of the policy making and the steps, I do not think I should speculate on without reading the entire fine print of not only the judgment, but of previous precedents in the matter.
We totally respect that. But Mr. Asher and Mr. Hegre, thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking with us and helping us understand what you really make out of this particular announcement. So big news coming in on Vodafone Idea. On the face of it, it's the petition that has been disposed, but the centre is likely to take the call going ahead. And Kavita ji, look at the move in the stock price as well. Almost 8.5% jump is what we get to see. But with this, viewers, it's time to wrap this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. It's a goodbye from me and Kavita and the entire team. Thank you so much for tuning in.